Welcome to the Bounce Media Network. I am your host, the one and only MC, Mr. J Ski, coming to you live and direct. I want to say thank you to everyone out there that's subscribing to the channel. We've reached a new milestone. I really appreciate that. If you haven't already done so, please like the video, leave your comments down below. And if you haven't done it yet, go ahead and subscribe. The WNBA and the WNBPA, the circus is coming to town. All right. The nonsense, the craziness is still it's every day. Okay. The news keeps coming out. It's more ridiculousness. It's just a menagerie of foolishness. Okay. On the WNBPA's part, I went over the leadership roster, the leadership makeup in the last video. If you guys haven't seen that, go ahead and check that out. But yeah. Things are just not going the way that they should. And to be a WNBA fan in by way of Caitlin Clark, I never knew that things were this crazy. Okay, it's from the players to the leadership, just the things, the overall structure of things in the W is unlike anything I've seen before. Okay. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to react to Marcellus Wiley. He put out a video like a week ago. So if you haven't seen it, I'm going to react to that. And then we'll discuss a few things.
I think so. Like they don't have time for this.
It's not unrealistic, and this is
but that's what they're saying.
Both sides right now have the chest poked out. Just having seen this so many times in NFL negotiations, NBA negotiations, it just always follows the same tone. According to the league, everybody broke, ain't nobody making money, even though billionaires continue to invest. The players are all like, we see the money, we want as much as possible. Like, this is part of the dance.
I think they're mad at NECA and others for speaking out. I think that the league wants to continue to control the narrative and these players. I think we can't show that the players have the power. I think that's why they kept Kathy in place. Kathy still being there is an example of you're not the boss, we are.
Only to after they agree, watch that she won't be there.
Oh yeah, of course.
At some point, the ego will get out the room because there's way too much at stake. There's a lot of teams that will eat some significant losses if this season does not start in a timely enough fashion and they not trying to take them L's. Trust me.
Blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. Nobody's trying to take an L, but when you have taken a few L's, you start getting used to it. Right?
If the season starts.
Right? That's why confidence is a mother sucker. Right? A team that is the same teams. Two teams going against each other hit adversity. If you've been on a win streak or you believing in yourself, you're like something good is going to happen right now. If you've been on a losing streak, you used to like the doubt birds flying over. You're like, uh-oh, here we go again. These owners, you got to remember how callous they are right now. No, they don't want to throw away the momentum and energy they have in this moment. But also they're shrewd businessmen who have been looking at books for 25, 30 years of, cut your losses. There's someone smart around one of these billionaires saying, hey, man, you know, one of the plays is just let it be.
That's what everybody's been saying. All right. The ladies, they want to try to get everything that they can get. They feel like something's owed to them. And it's the owners are just they're not having it. You know, it's like, I'm not going to take, for example, someone that just purchased a team. All right. An expansion team. All right. They paid their buy-in money, $250 million or whatever it is at the time. And now that I've bought this, I'm $250 million in the hole. All right. For example purposes. Okay. Now that I've purchased this team, I have to spend more money to get things up to snuff. As to maybe I need to build a stadium. Maybe I need to do this marketing. I need to do all these extra things, you know, after I've already paid down my expansion fee. Okay. And now here you ladies are, here you guys come telling me that you want 20%, 25, 30% of gross profits when I'm already $250 million in the hole. Okay. And that's just the people that are coming in right now buying a team. Okay. That has nothing to do with the owners that have been floating the league for the past 25 to 30 years. All right, let's continue.
No, we can't do that. Remember, we're not in the same social climate. We're not in Title IX anymore, right? We're not even in the women's opportunity, all that. No, we are in an era where people are like, get it with your muscle. DEI, please. This ain't 2020. This is not 2017. You can't come up to somebody and say, I got this great business plan, and before you can say and I am a 51-year-old guy of African-American descent from Compton who used to play in the... I don't want to hear all that. Show me the business plan. We are back to those days. Not fully, but we are way closer to that than, hey, our women's league that's only had really 2 peaks is day one and right now. Let's roll. So when I hear them say, shout out to Kerry, shout out to Jamil, you know I got love for him. When I hear them say the players got the power, I'm like, please, are you serious? Let's talk why they don't have the power. War chest. You know what a war chest is? Yes, we all do, right? That means we gonna go to war. How much are you willing to spend? Oh, you ain't? Let's go to litigation if we shall. Oh, we not? It ain't about if you're right or wrong. It's what can you prove and how can you prove it. So
can't go to war if you ain't
this
got your
won't
money
get
right.
done until the deadline.
Shout out to
First of all,
Machiavelli.
so she's right about the ego in the room. Everybody's just sitting there like, I ain't giving up nothing. I ain't giving up nothing. I ain't giving up nothing. Okay, shut it. That's why I hate mediation and lawyers. Oh, people come up to me all the time. We have a little disagreement. They be like, all right, well, I'm not calling nobody. And this is, take this from the smart man, Mark Cuban. He says the crazy part is that no matter what the WNBA does with salaries, every star college player will take a pay cut to play in the WNBA.
And they're losing people.
Dun, dun, dun,
based on their actions.
I've heard that for a decade plus. I'm not going to say the names, but legends. One's a Mount Rushmore player. She was like, dog, when I got to the WNBA, I was like, oh, this sucks. I was like, why? She was like, because I took a hit in marketing and in salary. I was more famous in college. I was like, damn, you're right. Because I saw you play a lot in college. I didn't watch one of your WNBA games. Who you play for again? I asked a few ADs what the going rate is for the star player on a power conference women's basketball team. $500,000 to $1.2 million. Come on, y'all. The salaries they had right now, what was the most? $240,000? Now, the new deal is up there if they sign it. But they want to go for it all. They don't want a base hit. They don't even want a double. They want a home run. After striking out for 25 years. Crazy. And you are always a free agent with the portal. So you can always, you get your room and board paid for, and you get a good education if you work at it. It's all subsidized by donors and shared school revenues, which makes it more similar to Europe, where companies subsidize teams, than to the WNBA. In the NBA, a team can't go to a sponsor and negotiate a direct payment deal for a player. In college, they effectively can with NIL money. When I have written checks to IU, I knew which players were trying to get with the money. Although I never tie the money to specific players, it's up to them. The WNBA needs to look at allowing the same thing. Let the teams go to local sponsors and work out payments like to players NBA, as part of sponsorship packages.
The NBA as an example.
We're cooking. This is why he's
it's
Mark Cuban, y'all. The big name players have agents to do this. The rest make minimal amounts with or without an agent. And you know these lazy ass agents are pissed off at that. They don't want to do extra work. All they want to do is sign the contract, get their 3% and say, peace. Well, it's time to work, homie. Let WNBA teams pay NIL money to its players. It's counterintuitive for NBA folks, but here is the issue. WNBA teams don't have the margin dollars from tickets, sponsors, and shared revenues like TV to pay bigger salaries using their own cash flow. That's the paragraph. We're stopping right here, right now. This is not apples to apples. This is not analogous to the NBA. So for them to always want to use the beats and the model of the NBA for the WNBA, you are fooling yourself. You are deluding yourself. You don't have the same input, so you won't have the same outputs. With help from the league, they could create NIL deals with sponsors that go directly to the players from the sponsors. Come on, baby. Make it.
Hold on, let's stop it right there. So, with everything Mark Cuban stated, I think there's a world where that may work. There's also a world where that may not work. Okay, with everything going on with the W, obviously they can only go up from here. You know, they've already been down. So if they take advantage, basically market who their star player is, who their superstar player is. So they have one superstar, okay? And then they have some very good players, okay, that could potentially become stars. And then they may have some more stars coming in or more good players coming in that could potentially become stars as well. So with that upward trajectory, they can only do better when it comes to bringing in revenue. Okay. The only thing is, the downside is that the players are asking for too much. Okay. They want it right now. Because if they feel like if they don't get it right now, they're going to miss the boat. And some of their minds are going to miss the boat again. Okay. And that may be the case for some of them. But the thing is, you're only going to get paid what you're worth. So if you're not worth it, it doesn't matter what this CBA does or the next 2-3 CBAs down the line. They're all going to be better than what it was from when you were in. Okay. So your CBA reflected your generation of players. Okay. So the last CBA reflected that generation of players. If you guys sucked or you didn't bring in any money, any revenue, whose fault is that? The league can only market itself as much as it can do. It all comes down to the play on the floor. Okay? If the game is not entertaining, no one's going to pay to come in to watch. The players themselves already stated before that they can play a game and sit in the stands or sit on the bench and read a book. Who the hell does that? I'm not going to a game if there's not. Nobody wants to be someplace where nobody else wants to be. If it ain't popping there, I don't want to be there. It's like a party. Oh, this party's dead. I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to go to an MLB game. I'm going to go to a football game or NCAA game. Okay? Because that's where it's at. If a movie sucks, nobody's going to go see a dead movie. You want to be in an audience amongst like-minded people. Okay? So if they're not bringing in the revenue, then they can only ask for what they're worth, and they just need to get off of it. All right, let's continue.
Illegal. Create a cap per player based on years of experience. Man, he cooking over here right now. Yes, some teams will suck at it. That's where the WNBA comes in to help. They will suck at it as well for some period. But like collegiate NIL, the sponsorship packages will supplement player salaries without undermining the economics of the teams and league itself. Ooh. The next question will be competitive balance issues. The big markets can do this better. They have a great addressable market for sponsors. The WNBA could require that some percentage of the NIL money deal goes into a pool for a version of revenue share. This is effectively what happens or did with jersey ads. I remember advocating that the jersey ads be split with all teams because the greatest value to sponsors comes not from local TV or games, but from national TV, playoffs, and jersey sales. This would be similar. Obviously, I'm just spitballing this, but if they came on Shark Tank, that's what I would suggest. What do you think? I thought that was a hell of a start. I thought that took me somewhere way better than hearing what I'm hearing from these WNBA negotiations. That's what I think. It's simple. You got some stars. Just address the elephant in the room. Golly, what is wrong with us when we can't just say what it is? Look, I understand they're women. I understand we love them. I understand we like them. I understand that the ball ain't the same, but we trying to keep it the same. Y'all, we never gonna fix it until we get to the illness, not the symptoms. The illness is this ain't the same. Okay? When you watch the women's game as a product, it's not the same. Last night I was watching curling on the Winter Olympics. It's an amazing sport to watch. I mean, it's the best background sport I've seen in the Winter Olympics. I'm like, damn. I actually am. When they slide and they let that thing go before that green line, and then First of all, if my hips could be as flexible as them, the men and the women, there's no difference. I watched it yesterday in the 4-box with no sound. I didn't care, men and women, there was no gap. I didn't see any disparity, no gap, no contrast. They were the same to me. Here's the thing. When you see a product like that, you're like, all right, unilaterally, we can invest the same. But when you see a discrepancy, when you see one of them dunking and one of them ain't, one of them three-point line looking closer, one ain't, one ball smaller, one ain't, one can't jump, the second jump, one can. Like, if we can't do that, if we can't talk about the illness, why there's not the same amount of money going in, the inputs aren't the same, then the output won't be the same. And I think the owners, maybe closed door they do this, but openly, they know the PR.
All right. So, yeah, he has some pretty interesting takes. Obviously, I agree with much of what he said. Some things kind of went off a little bit. But for the most part, it's the product. It's the product, and it's also the packaging of the product. The product, the W's product has not been packaged for market, over the past, 10, 15, 20 years. Okay. Now they have better product, but they're not packaging it right. Okay. A la Caitlin Clark, superstar in the making, if not already. They're not packaging her the way that she should be packaged. And they're not surrounding her with the protection that a league should surround said package. Okay. Not saying that she, needs to be dribbling the ball up and down the court with armed security, but there should be a presence that the ladies, the players can't do what it is they got away with for the last year and a half. Okay, to the product. All right. So we're trying to enhance and trying to. We as in the W, they're trying to enhance and better perfect the product in order to sell it to the masses. But the players, the WNBPA, the veteran players, the old guard, media and what have you, they're all getting in the way of enhancing the product. There's a saying that says, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Something like that. They're their own worst enemy. All right. I know everybody's heard that. The players are their own worst enemy. They keep getting in the way of themselves. And at the end of the day, I don't know if it's, I don't know if they are actually, if it's premeditated for them to try to burn the league down, but it definitely seems that way. Everything, all the arrows are pointing in that direction. And the only people that are going to, be hurt from it is the players. It won't be the owners. Okay. Yeah. The owners will lose money. That'll be a short-term thing. But as far as the long term, the owners will be fine because they're the owners. Okay. If someone bought a team for $250 million, they didn't have exactly $250 million in investments or in cash or liquidity in their accounts or whatever. They had 5, 10 times that amount, a small percentage in order to buy a team. Okay. So yeah, it's just a circus. Like I stated at the beginning, it's a circus. It's just the Ringling Brothers. It's just nonstop delusion. It's a series of unfortunate events, and I don't know where things are going to end up. I would like to see a season. I would like to see Caitlin Clark play. I would like to see the Indiana Fever play. But that's pretty much all I got. Like I said, this video was out for a while. I hadn't got around to reacting to it, but so yeah, we did that. If you like it, leave your thoughts, your comments in the video down below. Like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. We'll see you soon.